I'll tell you today that this will be the most interesting visit you'll have. It's
Okay.
one of our smaller offices.
Yep.
Everything in here has pretty much a story in of itself.
Great, thanks.
Come. It's all about community involvement. And the way it works is that on Thursdays and Fridays, when we have a religious patient that gets stuck in a hospital for the weekend, and it's lonely, sometimes this kosher food is hard to come by.
Yes.
We have about 130 married ladies in the community, and basically this is their stop point. If you take a look inside, they prepare packaging like to restaurants.
Packaging to take it out.
And every last detail gets put in here.
Sure.
Hot foods, warming bags. I mean, even if you look inside, as religious Jews, the reason why we use, why we pick this company, no more than that. We can't tear on Shabbos and the Sabbath, so we have mouthwash bottles where the seals are taken off. Every last little detail. So when someone's in the hospital, we can ease their pain just a little bit. You look right there in the corner. Like I said, there's a story behind everything. What are those speakers here? We're in very close proximity to JFK Airport. Very often people don't have time for a funeral. They want to be buried in Israel. So when we get that kind of phone call, we have speakers and microphone stands. We immediately set them up outside the airport and allows people to have the dignity of a funeral by the airport. Everything's there for a reason, you know? This is unfortunate, I don't have to explain.
Here, Jess, come here, you gotta see something here. These are things that are important to the community. But there's a tripod microphone stand with extension boom. I'm not sure.
Like I said, they're usually for funerals, but
hopefully I won't be needing
if you like to borrow it, I'll give you a card.
It's nice and compact.
Yeah, it definitely fits, and it really does the trick. We even have, by the way, outside as far as equipment for the elderly.
This generator?
This unfortunately has become a site everybody recognizes.
Runs on gasoline?
Yeah. This piece of equipment actually is about $700. It's called an oxygen concentrator.
A couple thousand.
Sorry, what is it?
Couple thousand.
Couple thousand dollars.
$2,000.
Ellie knows better than I do. To give you a very brief example, we had a woman in the community here. She had end-stage cancer. She needed round-the-clock oxygen. Now, if I take them from Hatzalah, those oxygen tanks, they'll run out in about a half hour, 2 hours. A concentrator
would be able
allows
to.
them to keep filtering the air, but it costs $2,000. Where are you getting that? Allowing this woman to stay home in her final days. So we have that available here. Achiezer means Achi is a brother, and Ezer is helping a brother. What do I need to say? That's the name. This is our executive board. We maintain, obviously, be fiscally sound and all that. The board oversees every last decision that's made, and we have board members from Nassau, from Queens, from every neighborhood, so that everybody feels like they have an actual seat at the table. I have you recognize. Came to the command center as well.
I do recognize him.
This is Mr. Skelos.
Dean very well.
This is the NYPD, and this is Tom Swazi, actually, who's running against Mr. Mangano.
I know Tom very well.
Then we'll see his footage from my actual house. The office was damaged. Didn't ask for that kind of role, but we were given that kind of role. Thousands of people calling, begging, crying.
We were answering about 1,500 phone calls every day in that first 2 weeks after the
mother. We have no food, there's no power, my child's on oxygen, we have no generator, I've lost my entire life savings. Help.
People who are on the 8th side, they have an issue. Why do we have to schlep around to different places? There's a phone number, Achiezer. My brother, who's here to help me.
It keeps people focused on getting the help that they need, as opposed to going to one place for this, one place for that.
But to have somebody out there who is advocating for you and is so capable and can just solve your problem and save a life in such a major way,
In government, nothing gets done on our own. We look for partners who can help get things accomplished. Achiezer is an organization that is not about talk, but getting the job done. And that's why I look for a partner.
Let me ask you a question. You've been doing this now for 5 years?
Almost 5 years, not even.
When you're talking about going to different places, some are going, most will be the city.
Correct.
Others will be part of the state.
Correct.
Trying to coordinate. Is it getting better or worse trying to have city agencies communicate with other city agencies?
I would say that there's been some improvement, but we have a way to go. And if city agencies would be more, in conjunction and in communication with the local on-the-ground organizations, it would be so much, even just bringing these people out on a satellite basis, on a temporary basis, with the organizations on the ground, it's not where we should be. Has it become better? Certainly. But we can improve that.
The concept is what I call one-stop shopping.
That's what many people have told, but not...
But I use this all the time. Those who open up small businesses in New York City have to deal with a multitude of agencies, different forms, different locations, different part information that goes on. Yeah,
I've said
excuse me.
hundreds of times that imagine that's someone opening a business, but imagine somebody in crisis, right?
Right.
Imagine telling someone in crisis, okay, you need to call here, there, and there. They
Right.
don't have the
Right.
ability
They don't
to do
have
that.
that.
They need to sit with someone, take them by the hand,
Right.
and tell them what resources are there, what resource they need, and how to get to them,
Right.
as opposed to just a quick referral. And go?
Okay.
Look at one.
I feel bad.
Ah,
Thanks so much.
thank you very much.
Kind words.
Thank you.
The business
for what you
stopping
do.
by.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
All right.
There's the man from all the pictures.
Thank you. You're in every one of those pictures. You were
Now
there.
we know.
Magnet. I'm
Want to get a picture of Joe under
You're an
there? We can back
I'm
up.
an extra.
Now they move over. They're trying to get him under the sign.
You have a SAG card? You can get.
You go.
After Hurricane Sandy, there was a person complaining to Mayor Bloomberg. I believe it was in Staten Island, and Mayor Bloomberg turned around to the guy and said, "Call 311." Now you see the operation that Achiezer runs. What's your feeling on this contrast?
Look, you know, what social service agencies do like this is so important, but it's filling a gap. And one of the things that I've talked about throughout the entire campaign is how to make the government more efficient, more effective. Whether or not, you know, how do we make the agencies work together on behalf of the people instead of the agencies working on behalf of the agency. And there's a distinction there that is really important to me. It should always be about providing service to the people. And you have to look at that from a structural point of view. And we haven't restructured the government in probably 11 and a half years, and we need to do that. We need to think about, as time changes and as things evolve, what's the structure of the government? People do it in the private sector all the time. We need to do it on the governmental side just as much to be able to service the people. In the private sector, they want to service their customer. In this case, our customer are everyone in the city of New York. So we've got to make sure that we're properly structured and restructured. And, you know, and it always has to be dynamic because the world evolves.
How many officers would you like to add to the police department? if
Well,
you
first
become
off, I've talked about publicly adding another 1,000 police officers to the NYPD. That would be about $70 million a year, about 1/10% of the entire city budget. I have also said, simultaneously with that, I will select a police commissioner. Ray Kelly doesn't want to stay. I will talk to whoever my police commissioner is about how many officers he or she thinks will be necessary to make sure that crime continues to drop. And so I'm going to rely on the police commissioner, but my overall intention is to not keep the police at the level that it is now.
Do you have a favorite paper, though? From all the papers that you read, what's your favorite?
Every day I read the New York Post first, and then I don't have time to read the others.
Take care again, Joe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming.
Congratulations for what you do.
For the kind
It's
words.
great.
And,
forevermore.
Thanks.
Take care.
All right.
One more thing, do you follow Jacob Kornblue on a daily basis?
No, I don't watch Twitter. I don't follow Twitter any longer. I'm too busy to do that. When the campaign's over, maybe I will. Does he still tweet constantly?
If you become mayor, you'll hire Jacob Kornblue to do your tweeting?
To answer that question would be illegal. I'm not allowed to talk about who I could hire or not hire. Don't trick me anymore. Thank you.